Triple my salary.
Yeah.
All right, ready, guys?
Let's hit it.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Banya. Happy to be back. A little bit of a break for Dana and I, but Dana was out the last pod, so happy to have you back, bud.
Hey, I'm happy to be back. I need to get in this sauna as much as possible.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I saw another study before I intro our guest here that sauning every day lowers your chance of dementia by a huge percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard that one yet.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
So even if it's not true, I'll believe it and just run with it, you know?
Anything for brain health is always a win for sure, man.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Well, welcome, Arun. Hit us with your last name.
It's Dawit.
Dawit?
Dawit.
Okay. What is that?
Indian.
Indian?
Yeah. Family's from India.
Any particular part?
Punjab. So it's in the north part of India. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody in Yuba City?
I don't, but I know it's obviously
It's
hub.
a mecca,
It's
dude.
a mecca
Yeah.
for Indian people.
For sure. Yeah, that town, it's like
Yeah.
45 minutes over the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge
I know
cultural
one
center for like a lot of Sikh. Are you Sikh? Is that?
I'm Hindu, right? Hindu Punjabi, but my wife's Sikh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I kind of grew up around the Sikh culture. as
What's
well.
the difference? I'm super ignorant on that
So
part of the world.
Hinduism is it's an older religion, and Sikhism was born out of Hinduism.
Okay.
So Sikhs were kind of the warriors of the group and built their own religion.
Are those the dudes that walk around with the sabers still to this day?
Yeah, they're called kripans.
Garbans
Right?
is the knife.
The
It's
dagger.
like
Yeah. The dagger, and then also what do you call it? Like a kara, right? Which is think of like back in the day, it'd be something to like as a shield. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of truckers in like the industry I work in that they'll kind of freak me out to be walking in to like deliver a load, and I'll see this dude with a giant knife slung around him. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah. No, it's
Nice. It's a good look. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good look for sure. But yeah, so a little bit of the difference between that, but my wife's Sikh, and and I kind of grew up where I grew up in Vancouver, in Canada. There's a lot of Sikh population there, so I end up becoming it's a cultural thing, right? You end up becoming a part of it as well, right? And
adopted it to a point.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
Well, so tell us about your jiu-jitsu beginning. So you said you started up in Canada, right? Yeah. So what was that like?
So I mean, growing up, I was more of a team sports guy, right? And I had a cousin of mine who did martial arts. He's a black belt in kickboxing, taekwondo type deal. And he's like, man, come on out. Let's do some martial arts. And I always said no. And I stuck with the the team sports. But eventually, call it like 20 years later, my I started hurting my elbows and my knees playing hockey, right? And I'm like, oh man, I got to try something else. And I was on an airplane, and I downloaded a Jocko podcast.
And
talking about jiu-jitsu, and it was of course it was it's either Rogan or Jocko, right?
Right.
But
And the one annoying friend that doesn't shut up about it.
Yeah.
Same in Canada as it is here.
Exactly. It's anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah.
So I called my cousin up, and I'm like, hey, I was listening to this podcast, and what are your thoughts on just doing jiu-jitsu is like at the beginning of like the summer, doing jiu-jitsu for say the summer, let's try something else out. Right away he picked it up because he's been trying to convince me for years to get into martial arts.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me pick the school, let me find the school, let me do some research, and he kind of just ran with it. And we ended up at this school called PTT, Pacific Top Team. Walked in there and got the bug, right? Just instantly. Wasn't just the technique, wasn't just the sport in itself. It was also the people in that sport. That gym was, I would say, equivalent to Grey Wolf.
Awesome.
Like just that vibe, that feel of, it's not just the instructors teaching you, but it's also the people,
the whole
as
class,
well, the whole class, and they want to see you progress. So it was just a good vibe, right? And did that. That was back in 2019, and then COVID hit, and there was a big sort of gap. And COVID here versus COVID in Canada was a different vibe.
Difference.
It was a lockdown. I
Don't get Dana started.
Yeah, we're talking like 2 years of like lockdown and masks and none of that stuff. So, you end up building this bond and relationship with some people from jiu-jitsu, and we have this like WhatsApp group. And once in a while there'll be a message, hey, let's go to Johnny's garage, right?
Nice, yeah.
Sweet.
So he had all the mats laid out, and we started doing some jiu-jitsu. And
if you had tried to pull that stunt do it in your actual business, like they'd run you over, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely. The gym was closed.
Yeah.
Right.
Because here, a lot of it was like put sheets over the windows and just roll.
Yeah. Near the end, that's what started happening. Garbage bags over the windows, and we just kind of kept it closed, and that was it. But and then so we did a little bit of that, but then once COVID sort of subsided, frankly just fell off. Fast forward a couple of years, got married, came to the U.S.
What was the catalyst to get you down here?
I got married to US
she's
citizen.
from
she's from here, and
Yes.
so I have a little bit more freedom with my work, so it gave me an opportunity to so all right, well, let's do it.
Nice.
And so we decided to move down here, and then I don't know anyone here, right? Didn't know anyone here, and then eventually decided, I got to get back in jiu-jitsu. I got to do something, right? So I tried a few schools out. I tried Gracie Baja. It was good school, solid school. Just felt like a bit of a kind of a rotating, like just people rotating in and out. So you don't get to connect with people and chat with people. And I tried a few other schools, didn't really take, and then kind of stopped that journey. And then maybe last year, for about like a couple of months, I was just going to 10th Planet Scottsdale.
Oh wow.
Loved it there. The guys are awesome there. It's such a sick crew there out there too. They're killers out there. And but I was kind of missing the gi. I wanted a little bit of both. Like I love no gi. I love no gi, but I wanted a little bit of both, right? And so I reached out to John, and we were texting back and forth. He's like, come by, check out the school, feel free to come in any classes, all that stuff. So one day I just was dropping by for an open mat. I'm like, open mat's safe, you can come in. And it was a day of like belt promotions. So I see him sitting outside with a coffee, just on his phone, like in a sleeveless shirt, just sunbathing a bit. And I'm like, John, and he's like, hey, how's it going? And then right there, he just sort of welcomed me with open arms, brought me in, showed me around, talked about the water and how awesome the water is, right?
It is awesome.
And
it's amazing. One of the perks.
It was good. And so that was just intro to John, but right there you feel good vibes, like instant good vibes, right? Then it goes to that, and then you go into the classes, and the classes really represent John as well, and in that sense too, where it's just like bring you in with open arms and, hey man, come back, right? I checked out the late night or the evening classes, middle of the day classes, and morning classes. All of them were sick. They were all friendly people, and I'm like, this is a community. That's what I was missing, so that's what I was hoping for, and that's where I am today.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
No, that part's huge. That for me, that wasn't what I was looking for. It was just like a weird side benefit. I was like, like at first I was like, I just want to get sweaty and train.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, these people are actually really awesome.
Yeah.
That part just kind of like came to me for free. It was good. That was cool.
Yeah. And anytime you find a group of guys and girls that literally want to choke you, and you go through this kind of life and death experience, and then after that you just slap hands, bump. Yeah. It's such a unique person that you need to join jiu-jitsu. It's such a great sport.
For me, it's nice being around people that are looking to improve themselves.
Yeah.
Like that to me is really all it is. You know what I mean? It's like it's can be weirdly hard to find that in life.
Yeah.
And pretty much everybody, for sure everybody in there is working on themselves, and it's just cool to be around that.
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome. great environment.
Hell yeah. Well, so how many weeks or months are you in at time? I don't have a concept of time. How long have you been doing it at Grey Wolf now?
Yeah, I started, call it November, December, right?
Okay.
So literally, I'm only a few months in here.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I maybe did a first class. In
Feels like you've
October.
been in there for a year though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've been going consistently.
Yeah,
I'm you know, when you're talking about improvement, you know, I know where I used to be, you know, from a skill set, and I know I'm not there yet, but it's just about like let's kind of get better.
Oh, right? Like where you used to be before you stopped for that long break.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay.
I was younger. I was more in shape, and just overall, and like, you know, my jiu-jitsu knowledge, it was I feel like it was a lot sharper. Now when we're doing things like this morning's class, which is, you know, side control escapes, right? Stuff that, you know, it's basic, but also it's really good for me to review, because it's like, oh yeah. You know that feeling when you first learn a technique, and then it rolls around and you see that technique again. It's like the little minor details you start learning from even different professors. It's like it's all brand new to me again, right? Which is great. Yeah,
those classes are super fun for me. Like we don't get to do that too often. Usually when a tournament's coming up, we'll do a couple of those. I love learning all the new technique, but it's fun when we get those days where it's just like, all right, we're warm up and then kind of straight into it. All right, get into these positions, try to work out, try to maintain.
Well, and it's never too much training to train getting out of side control, because it is the worst. Getting out
the worst. Yeah.
So you can always get more techniques to get out of the damn side control.
Yeah.
Well, that's the last place you want to be in a tournament, stuck in someone's side control and you're down 2 points. And you're like, well, this guy's just gonna sit here now. Great. All right.
Well, and my new favorite thing to do is work towards controlling their elbows. So like you take their arms away from them when you're mounted, and like you're just gonna cook them, you know. Like it's just that heavy pressure, and you can't move your hips if your arms are pinned,
right?
So it's one of those things. So like that's what I've been trying to focus on, like riding the board more than like just going for executions, you know, and just like pin them basically, you know.
You're talking about when you're on top.
So when you're on top, you like can scoop their elbows up.
Yeah. And just hold them above their head.
Yeah.
Well, there's a submission there too.
For in what?
I mean, in anything, gi or no gi.
Yeah. So there's arm triangle.
Oh yeah. Well, so like what I've been going to just the, what do you call it, Kimura, right?
Americana up?
Americana, sorry,
yeah.
So eventually they'll get tired.
Yeah.
And like one of their wrists is going to expose themselves, and you grab that.
Yep.
And then they're so ready to bring that arm back down.
Yeah.
It's straight into that.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's been my favorite. I saw, like a month or so ago, I saw a quote from Danaher, like with, you know, picture of, what's his name?
Gordon Ryan.
Gordon Ryan, thank you. On top of another guy, and he had him in that position. The dude
Uh-huh.
just looks so defeated. It's like, oh yeah,
it's exhausting.
Take away those arms, and it's over.
Yeah.
Can't let him get that far. Hands on hips.
Yeah.
Hands on hips, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I've been doing this thing where like if I can scoop my arm underneath their elbow, I use my fingers. Like we do it in wrestling too. You literally just crawl. Yeah.
It's like the thing walk.
You inch your hand up, and it's so hard for your opponent to fight that pressure.
You'll hear Kobe say that. He's like, get your hand under it and then just thing walk it up. Okay. Just kind of work your way. And I mean, there's some other positions for that, but yeah, it's great. And just slowly work the hand up.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, good.
Move. Yeah, that was a super fun class this morning. You gonna make it in tomorrow morning?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
How many days are you training per week? Like you're doing all mornings now?
Yeah, I'm all mornings. So I'm about 3 to 5 days a week.
Okay.
Maybe sometimes 6. It depends on if I want to go on a Saturday. Saturday I'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm trying to go as much as I can right now, and for the same purpose of just want to get better, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yep.
Well, we have yoga class every Saturday morning. It's good for mobility, stretching. It'll make you better.
Yeah, I'm usually there after that, right?
Yeah. Come in at 9.
Oh,
yeah. Bino will love it too.
Yeah.
Speaking of mobility, did you see me showing off this morning? So
put your legs between your head or behind your head. Finally,
I'm not there yet. Almost. But so you've done Mateus as warm-ups, right?
Yeah.
So like I finally see them paying off. So like, what do you call it when you're in
The 90-90s?
And then you flip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 90-90s,
I
yeah.
used to have to use my hands behind my back to get around. Like as recently as like last week. And now I don't have to.
Nice.
I can just go back and forth pretty easily now. And it's just like, it just happened.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, hell yeah.
It's actually working, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you always talk about your hips.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that's gotten the most mobility and, like, experience with jiu-jitsu so far. I mean, that's what it is. It's those hips right there. I know. I need to do more of that. I did something to my right hip. I don't know. It's just, like, loose.
Dude,
I got to keep stretching.
Man, I'm all in on Mateus's warm-ups.
Yeah, I love it.
Dude.
Yeah.
They do the trick.
Yeah, and it's like hip mobility for one thing. I have the tightest hips ever, right? And like you said, the yoga classes is great, but but also like the way that Mateus kind of manages the warm-ups.
Oh, especially in the morning. Yeah.
First thing in the morning, you know?
And a lot of those motions have
Yeah.
practical uses in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, we literally see it on the technique he's showing, you know? Like, it's just all very tied in and beneficial.
Yeah, for sure.
You feeling it already, Dana?
No, I'm just trying to stretch.
Oh, there we go.
I was getting
Perfect.
all
Yeah.
excited.
This is the move.
Yeah.
So, I've talked about this before, but this sitting like this is like a natural rest position.
Right.
So this will, like, if you can do this more or get closer to going down further, this is where humans' mobility should be with their hips, right?
Right. Yeah.
So anyways, it's just another tidbit for everybody. Health and wellness.
The Okinawa way, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what? Maybe I need to give credit to my new table too, though. A little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Not as much as Mateus.
We'll take it.
A little bit.
Yeah. Not
I built this
bending
little,
over anymore.
This little like tea table, basically. It's like super low to the ground, so I try and like drink my coffee on it and like eat down there sometimes and do some work. I can't last very long.
Luke is part Japanese now.
Oh, yeah.
He eats on the floor.
Yeah, I saw one
That's great.
episode of Blue Zones, and the Okinawa people, they just don't have like chairs.
Yeah.
Mostly. So like working on the ground, eating on the ground, and like they get up and down like 100 times a day. Compare that to the average Canadian or American.
Yeah.
I'm gonna involve you.
Yeah,
in this.
thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
Solidarity in our
virtually. I mean,
overweightness.
like seriously, like what do you think? Like the average like 50-year-old, like how often they like get on the floor is?
Well, in North America, hell no. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
probably
it's
not
gonna happen.
once. You roll out of bed and like you're either in a chair or standing up the
That's
whole day.
That's it. That's your
Right?
life.
You're not
right?
crawling around on the ground like a little kid.
Yeah. That Blue
Well,
Zone documentary was awesome because it's exactly what you're talking about, like the flexibility, the stretching side of things.
Yeah.
But you see some of these other cultures and they're like every day climbing up mountains, going down, you know,
Yep.
carrying things, right?
That was the main thread of them all was mobility.
Mobility.
It
Yeah.
wasn't
Exactly.
like obviously like a lot of these places have a way better diet than America. Who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
But the main thing was just they either like the village they're in, it's like on a hill and they have to walk all everywhere. They just don't. Not everybody has a car. It's like it's a lot of that gets people to those older ages.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you're talking about getting on the ground and crawling around, it's a friend of mine actually had to relearn how to walk partially, and he had a young child, and just watching the little kid crawling around on the ground, like basically learning how to move limbs at the same time. So, you know, that's how they do it. That's how they're able to be so mobile. Like you sit a kid up, like a baby, and they're sitting perfectly straight up with their legs out because they have so much hip mobility.
Right.
Like a person, we couldn't just like sit like that with our legs perfectly flat, like a little, you know.
There's no way.
So just seeing how they move on the ground was like, oh, like that's, you know, all the different positions and crawling around. And I mean, that's what more people should do. Like get on if you're going to sit and watch TV in your living room, get on a mat and just like stretch a little bit. You can sit on the ground and watch TV versus a comfy couch. Like 15 minutes a day will change your life.
It'll make a big difference. I mean, we only do the stretches that we talk about Mateus for like 10 minutes max. And we're always starting to see a difference, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the food situation like up in Canada? Is it as disgusting as it is here, or a little bit better?
A little bit more regulated in terms of making sure that you're not getting as much processed foods. But I mean, you're still going to find Doritos there. You're still going to find, you know, garbage there. There's just a little bit more, you know, regulation on those types of things. So
Sure.
it's not as bad, but it's bad. I
Yeah.
mean, call it what it is. It's bad, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm actually excited to see I don't want to get into politics or whatever, but like, RFK coming in and
No, we can get into it. Go for it.
With his agenda.
What is your position on Governor Trudeau?
Our 50 state first.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's funny. So yeah, I mean, well, first things first, the RFK point.
Yeah.
I love the direction that he's going.
Totally.
And it's just like, let's get some whole foods in. You don't need all this processed foods. It's forcing. Only government can do this because you're forcing companies to actually make a difference. Otherwise, you're not going to change, and they're not going to like remove like red 40 or blue 40. Or
so yes, totally. At this point, it's unfortunate, like because what's the chicken or the egg here is like how did people get so like not hooked on, but like used to eating the crappy food?
Yeah.
It was incentives from many, many years ago for the food manufacturers to do it cheaper, and they were able to use these things that weren't regulated. It's like, wow, we're going to make things cheap because the consumer is voting with their dollar to say, hey, we want this stuff.
Yeah.
At a certain point, though, it shifted where it's like, oh, we're doing purely for profit. They're not actually looking at health. This is just feeding people no matter what it is. Like it's just junk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. Like it needs to be, unfortunately, at this point, the government giving some sort of regulation, which I hate saying that because I don't want to have the government have any extra regulation.
I understand that, yeah.
We should just be voting with our wallets every day. Like, it's unfortunate, but we talk about this a lot here, is that if you're going to spend money on extra stuff in your life, like, make it things that are going to be healthy for you, like eating good food. And it's not meaning, you can't indulge, like, going 100%, like, full on. It's hard for anybody to do that on. So, like, indulge and, be I can't think of the word right now, but gracious, or okay on yourself for cheating on something. When I say, like, not cheating, but eating something that's not so healthy. The point being is that the education and voting with our dollar. So people could actually make that change if enough people are like, we're not going to buy Doritos or Monster Energy drink or whatever the hell else, fuels us, I say with air quotes.
Yeah. And like, the thing is about when it comes to the affordability side of things, like go with their wallet. But the reason why, this food is so accessible, it's because it's cheap, right? And so lower income folks are going to be more inclined on buying the Doritos because it's cheaper than, making French fries out of potatoes. And so it's just a lot more work. So it's convenience and affordability. Those are the two factors. So it comes down to education, but it's also going to come down to how do we lower prices and how do we support maybe the lower income folks with the ability to buy these things, right?
Sure. Well, I mean part of that is the more you buy something, the more they're going to have to make. Supply goes up, cost goes down. I mean, there's a big demand for potato chips being bought up by manufacturers that are making potato chips. So they take a bunch of those potatoes. Imagine if, even 5% of those potatoes went to, I don't know, I'm not saying promoting, and this is just potatoes. It's an example. But like went to grocery stores, there's more availability. They're cheap, or eggs, or whatever it is, whatever food product it is. If it's cheaper for the consumer to have than it is for the manufacturer to have, they're going to buy it.
Good point.
Because you say, like, lower income families, the food that's cheaper is crappier. 100%. That's the problem. It's like the food that should be the healthiest, even just for a basic understanding of that, is like it should be the cheapest because there's so much of it. People are like, we're eating the food that's good for us. Now, again, kind of come back to the regulation thing. Like, some point, something has to happen to step in because people aren't just going to vote for that themselves. They've been tricked psychologically with ads and just conditioned over time to be okay with it. Which a lot was like even promoted like by government agencies, like the food triangle, which is upside down from what it should be, and they've removed that since then. But it's things like that, putting the grains at the bottom, like as many grains as you can. Okay, really?
Well, and giving subsidies to like
corn and
for corn syrup and like soybeans for canola oil.
Well, any
like seed oils,
government subsidy, like there's a, I don't know if it still is, but I know there's a huge corn subsidy. Part of which was for food, but also for fuel, like ethanol, and for what you're talking about, corn syrup. All of that makes that cheaper. It's like, well, cool, we can buy a ton of this and sell it at a huge margin because we're processing it and it becomes edible, which is crazy. It's like this oil that was used for engine grease, and they're like, no, let's make this into food now because we have petroleum. So It's like
and there's a scarier economic component to cheaper food too, and it's like the white pasture guy talked about this is super interesting. It's like understanding that all like the cheaper food that we're producing, there's an offset cost within there. So whether it's like degrading farmlands by farming, inappropriately and destroying the topsoil, that one day will come back to cost us a lot of money to repair and figure out right. And then our health,
it's a huge
cost, right? Yeah. So like when we eat all this shit, now your household income, we're spending all that money on, what's the stuff that makes you skinny again?
Ozempic,
whatever, like curing all of your shitty maladies from eating poorly. So it's not cheap actually. It's like that's the way to look at it.
What's the opportunity cost of this?
Right. Either in your health or like larger, environmental issues down the road.
Yeah. I mean the solution is the whole thing's a big cycle / like supply chain, right? You tax the what do you call it? The corn syrup guys. So when they go into like a Snickers bar, they just can't use that. They have to change the thing. The other thing of changing, I'm just thinking about. First of all, I'm not talking about bringing taxes in and stuff.
There's a it's going on right now. There's actually a perfect example for what you're going on. It's like right now, the cost of eggs is up. They're saying because they had to kill a bunch last year, but I've heard people argue that
flu or whatever.
Yeah. But one of the main reasons truly is that the cost of grain is way up because of the war in Ukraine. Like that's a grain belt over there. So convert the grain you're farming for corn syrup into grain for chickens, and then boom, the cost of eggs goes down.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of your own economic or prosperity over like a war on the other side of the world. Unfortunately, it's like let's just keep funding wars instead of taking care of our people.
Yeah. And honestly, you could do that, and that can change everything, right?
Well, and there's all this guilt that like people, guilt that we should be helping everybody else around the world. Totally, if we have the ability, absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people in this country that need help that are not getting it from their government. Least of all is veterans, but just in general.
Yeah.
Like, and we're sending tons and tons of money for crazy. International development, all the USAID stuff, which I'm not an expert, but everybody who's listening to this,
it's fun
if you haven't listened, it's great.
Unravel,
And Elon's saying all kinds of wild shit, and the way he's saying it is like, we're sending money to 150-year-olds, but like, okay, there's it's a little hyperbolic to spout that out, and like the messaging is like, it's not helping. We won they won the election, like let them do their thing, but don't gloat about it either.
Right.
So, I'm cooking in here. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm down to get another break.
How you feeling, Arun?
Arun's beating us all up.
He is.
Yeah. Hey,
you're a sauna master,
I'm
bro.
a sauna master.
Let's take
First time in a sauna in like a couple of years here. What's the purpose for the hat?
It actually helps insulate.
Or it's a toque. Canadians we call it a toque.
You guys call them a toque?
Yeah.
A toque? A toque. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Put your toques and play some hockey, eh?
Oh, there we go.
What's that?
What's that all about? I might be brown, but I'm Canadian.
Yeah. You were born in Canada?
Born in Canada. Yeah, born and raised.
Yeah, you don't have a super heavy boot or a hay.
I'm on
the west side.
On the west coast, so
Yeah.
I got that sort of more, I don't know, California.
Yeah.
Kind of more chill.
Right.
Yeah, you're
That
so
makes
far
sense.
south. You're so.
Yeah.
Did you go to the U.S. often from Vancouver? It's not too far, right?
All
It's
the
like
time.
a couple hours.
All the time, yeah.
Down to what's the next major city?
Seattle.
It is Seattle.
Yeah. So we used to go to Seattle all the time. I used to live in San Francisco. So it's always in the
West Coast.
What part of San Francisco?
So we lived in the inner Sunset, but worked in downtown. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I love visiting that city.
Yeah.
I could never live there, but it's fucking unreal, dude. It's such a crazy city.
It has such a good vibe. It's especially from being in tech. So we went down there as part of a tech accelerator, and it was just that vibe, that energy. You hop in an Uber with with someone, And so yeah, I'm building Uber for Brazil, right? And you're bumping into all these types of people, investors, all this type of stuff. So it's such a good vibe out there. But man, it's gone to shit. Like if you go into downtown, it's the homelessness. COVID really killed it. And like they had these policies, like the previous mayor there, you know, if you commit a crime under $2,500, which is like, you know, smashing a window and stealing stuff, you're free to go. They're not going to jail you. They're not going to do anything to you. Was that her name? And it just created like chaos.
Yeah. Of course.
We rented a car down there, and they're like, watch out for the smash and grab. We're like, what's that? It's like, if you park in a Target or even a Starbucks, just watch your car because someone's going to come in and smash your.
I've heard the move is to just take all your shit, leave the car unlocked, and then like they'll just let them open it and see there's nothing in there. So they don't break it.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
That's so nuts. That's the solution.
But now things have changed. There's a new mayor in town, so hopefully it cleans up a bit. But I went downhill for a bit.
I got to get that mayor out and get Gavin Newsom out of that damn state. What was her name? London Breed? Was that the mayor?
I don't know. I don't know what the name was.
I could be wrong on that.
I just remember it being a shit show when I went there.
Get that thing fired up. That thermometer, that can't be right.
No, we were I was giving Sean shit about that again. He's 0 for 3. Sean, we need another thermometer, please.
Let's try this again.
Maybe try something over $20 this time. Brought to you by Babin's Wealth Management.
We've already blown him up so much.
He's very careful with money, so you know, I guess that's probably a good thing.
This is his whole shtick. He's trying to get me.
You know Sean. He's the guy. He started the jiu-jitsu.
Sean is me and him. We connect, right? It's where the two white belts just. You know, I'm giving the same love that you know I would get, right? Try put your frame out. This is what a frame is, right? You know.
Well, it's nice too to have a new white belt that you get to beat up on, instead of being the one getting beat up the whole time. You want to be the hammer sometimes. How's we were talking about Luke and I, like a good partner for you is Dennis. I haven't seen Dennis for a little while though.
Buddy, me and Dennis we're homies, man.
You guys are perfect size for each other.
6'10" each.
We're just like these two twin towers, just kind of rolling around, and just at around the same level as well. And I, like on Instagram, I'll see a move. And I'm like, oh, like we're all about the long arms, like, you know, the darces and the triangles and stuff like that. But I saw this cool move on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, I sent it over to Dennis. I'm like, Dennis, let's work on this, right?
Tall
so
guy
it's good.
Stuff.
Yeah, tall guy stuff like the Ezekiels and stuff. So we get along. But it's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's so good to have somebody like you're moving up, you're leveling up with in jiu-jitsu, to have like on your same kind of level, same pace. That was one of the coolest things about Grey Wolf, was there was such a like big group of us of white belts that were all like similar place, like growing in jiu-jitsu together, and there was, you know, a huge promotion to blue belt. Like what was it, a year ago or so, something like that, where like I think it was like 15 white belts got promoted. Crazy. So it was cool, but being part of that, like, it was fun.
No, I mean, I can only imagine like that, that sort of level of just basically growing up together, right, in jiu-jitsu. But it's great. It's also good to be a white belt in a class full of, you know, blue belts, and it's just, you know, you're getting beaten up, but you're also learning, because again, you don't just learn from the instructor, you're learning from the people that you're
totally
with, right?
Totally.
which is awesome.
That's what it's like. Play when I learn the most, when we're like playing, like you're still trying to kill each other, but like, hey, let's work on this one thing, and you're like playing through and like figure out, hey, here's an escape, or whatever it is. But everybody should remember that, you know, it's all about fun. We should have fun doing it.
So much fun, And it's the other thing is like for example, the one thing that stood out from me about you is you said you got 3 seconds. Don't give in that position.
Don't settle.
Someone's coming. You're coming to side control. You're about to take it. Hey, you got 3 seconds. You can still get out of it. And instead of giving up. And I was telling Luke as well. It's like. Dana told me, got 3 seconds, so I tried to do it, and then eventually he'd smash me. But It's good stuff.
But that's one less, guard pass or, submission attempt or whatever it is that you can get away from, or an extra 20 seconds before you get to that position. Like, okay, you've learned. Yeah. Cool. I can fight through this a little bit this way and that way. And that's one of the first things that, I learned was having to escape and like, don't settle. Like I gotta remind myself now, because I can get out of bad positions from a lot of people, not upper belts as often, but I'm like, cool, I can get out of this, but I can't, especially with a competition in a week and a half. I can't have that mindset. I know I gotta like remind myself in the next week of training just to get after it, which I did last night. It was great. We did 10 3-minute rounds. Just back to back 20-second break.
Oh, nice.
So we're losing the camera. I think it ran out of space. Damn. But yeah, it was a grind. So it's having that mindset.
Yeah. So you're competing next week?
Yeah, on the second Jiu-Jitsu World League.
How you feeling?
Feel pretty good. Yeah. Last night was a grind. But it's good. I'm gonna go to open mat tomorrow night and class tomorrow morning, and I gotta get the training in. I need to do a lot of rounds back to back just to get through that. And training with Jay Shellhammer, black belt, is great. He's a little bit bigger than me, so it's really good. And obviously, being a black belt, trying to survive as long as possible is always good.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Do you? So you're obviously training more. Are you changing anything else? Do you have to cut weight?
Not really. Like, I just need to watch what I eat for like next week, like 2 days before probably. And even that, it's more of, I take a lot of electrolytes, so I'm so hydrated all the time. Try to as much as possible, as everybody knows, because I sweat all over the place when I'm training. I'll be the sweatiest guy. I know everybody listening knows that. So I'll just stop taking electrolytes for like 3 days before, and you don't just keep all that water. Right. And with World League, it's nice. You can weigh in the morning at like 8 or 9 a.m. Okay. And then we're matches until 2 or 3. Go home and chill, and then come back. Go get some food, hydrate up, and come back and be ready to go. Nice. It's just great.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. So yeah, it's been good. Once I moved up from 168 pound weight class, I'm so much better, or so much happier. Just like not having to cut, it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna see you on the competition mat sometime this year. I think this year is a good year for it.
Yeah. Why?
2025. It's 2025. This is the year of renewal. We've got a lot of big things happening this year in the world.
So I mean, I joined, or I came back to jiu-jitsu not just because obviously I want to get better.
You want to be a UFC fighter.
I want to get healthier as well, right? And so
it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He has no camera. So. So I mean, I think in order for me to get better, competition is one of those kind of like a freeway to getting better, right? Yeah. Exactly the type of training you're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's like you're working on certain techniques, you're going for it, you're trying to get yourself in bad positions, getting out of that, working with black belts, upping your frequency as well. And it's those types of things. So I want to get to a certain fundamental baseline, and then I think I'll give it a shot. Yeah. And I think this year I was thinking about fall or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm putting it out there.
You could do it before fall. I mean, I did my first competition, I think 5 months after I started. A lot of people do about 5 or 6 months. And obviously, when you're ready.
Yeah.
And talk to Mateus and Vinny and say, hey, like, honestly, I would tell them now, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this July, August, whatever date. Yeah. And then they'll be able to kind of point you in the direction of what training you want and what, to work on. Because making that known is just a big piece to growing and learning when the coaches know. Yeah. I know I always talk to all the coaches like, hey, I want to compete. I'm going to do this. Like, so, and just continuing to train, of course. But heck yeah, man, you learn the most from competing and losing, unfortunately. But it's a different gear for sure. Like, it's intense in the morning class, but nothing compares to on the competition mat.
Yeah, when all your teammates are looking at you and watching you and cheering for you. I mean, that's a thing, right?
It is,
you
and
don't
yeah,
want to
and
let
that's
anyone down, right?
That's a big piece. It's just more the intensity of the match I was saying, but yes, that is a piece of it. But just like how physically intensive it is, and your adrenaline's high, and you're wiped out afterwards, which is good. But it's an intense workout.
I was telling Luke, I'm scared to death to even compete and just put myself, I guess, out there. But
what
I
did I
guess
why you should do it.
What did I tell you though?
You said everyone is scared.
That just doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away.
It's like there's levels of it for sure, but if you're not a little bit nervous, you're kind of fucking up. Because like I had one of my really important coaches in my life told me this is like, look, you don't want to be a 10, you don't want to be a 1. You got to be excited. Like you basically like nerves and excitement are physiologically nearly the same thing.
Yeah.
You just got to kind of like work the mental game of it to like make sure you're excited and a little bit nervous and just like, but not too excited, right? Again, you don't want to be a 10, you're a 1, you want to be 6, 7.
Yeah.
And I had a coach, not a jiu-jitsu coach, but coach, well, maybe it was actually. I'm trying to think of how long I've known this. But thinking about if you're going to go into something where you have to have intensity and like be 100% was what you want to get to, right?
Right.
Well, physically, maybe be 75, 80, 90%. You got to leave room for your brain to think. And that's where the other actual 10, 20, whatever percentage will come from in your physicality, not strength, but like in your movement or whatever, because your brain then has room to think about what's going to happen next. And so even when you're like training like super hard, don't go, I'm gonna go 100%.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go 90% or 80%.
Yeah.
And it's just a mind thing, a mindset for preparation to compete or just win, I guess.
Yeah. I know. I think GSP's coach would say go 70%. If you go 70% consistently, you're gonna eventually, you're just gonna like pass everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Just go hard enough, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
But
there's changing speeds within in that too. Like within your match is a good example, right? Like you can't just go 50 or 70% through the whole thing. You're gonna be like blast a double in my example case. Like that when my mind flips into it's double leg time, like brain shutting off, it's just go time.
Bull in China shop.
Like the body already knows all the motions and you just go through that as hard as you can, and then boom, if you fight to side guard or whatever, mount, then okay, let's think a little bit, right? Take a little break. Not a break, but like, pump the brakes a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You're just not like 100% spastic the whole time, right? It's just changing speeds is what it is.
Yeah. I think for me, one of the things that's in my head is like in the moment of rolling, I like brain freezes. It does freeze, right? So that is one of the challenges. So you're right in terms of giving some mental space for that, because if I were to do, like, say, like a progression roll, right? Like, okay, go on mount. What do you do from here? What are your options? What are your submissions? What are your sweeps? What are your all that type of stuff, right? That I can do, and I can from a brain perspective, I can connect it
statically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when I'm in the moment, forget about it.
Yeah,
forget about it.
And that's where the drilling comes into play. Like, well, that and like thinking in concepts, that helped me a lot, was thinking in concepts of what things can I do in any position that will be beneficial to what just my situation. Like knee to elbow connection, just get your elbows in. If you think in any position you're like, I don't know what to do here, elbows come in, maybe knees come in, or connect the two and make frames. So thinking in those terms in every single situation, that's a concept you can always go back to. And then from there, there's, putting your hand a certain way to block the shoulder or block the hip or get a knee shield, whatever. But you've got the basics concepts of, hey, let's protect myself with frames first or whatever. There's little concepts like that everywhere. Like Kimuras are everywhere. You see somebody put their hand on the mat, there's a Kimura. You see like whatever. There's little concepts where you can look for things. Seem to help me. And I like to gamify it. Like, you're in tech, so I assume you're a little bit of a nerd. Probably played video games in your life, maybe RPGs. You think like the skill tree, right? So you've got like a defensive skill tree and an offensive skill tree and some other like passive skill tree, right? So there's little passive skills like concept. I'm just thinking of this specific now, but knee to elbow connection, like getting better, like you increase your skill level on that, and that opens up something else in the passive.
Right.
And the attacking, you pass. That's like the first level. It's like, or whatever it is. Just there's some level to attacking. You have to pass first.
Yeah.
From there, if you're in side control or mount or back mount or whatever it is, the branches of the tree go somewhere else. It's like, okay, from here I got to mount. I can do X. I can do Y. I can do Z. There's all these branches.
Right. It just opens up those neuroreceptors, right?
It's a brain.
The pathways,
it's that pathway. And conception, like putting that like on a flow chart, for example, like you'd see, again, I relate it to video games where you see like the skill tree that's just connecting the neurons in your brain, I guess. I'm probably saying that wrong, but
no, you got
it. And then you feel that level up. You're like, oh, I got to the next level. I'm a, level 5 white belt or whatever. Yeah. Like, forget about just the stripes. There's more in between that.
There's way more in between. Yeah, exactly.
So
that's cool, man. No, it's a good point. Concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna move back to Canada and save that country, or are you just full-blooded American now?
I'm gonna eventually. So I'm not a citizen yet, but eventually I'll become a citizen.
What does that process look like when you marry a U.S. citizen?
So you have to get your green card first.
Uh-huh.
And then once you go through your green card, you can apply for citizenship after 3 years of marriage.
Okay.
Which, that's basically the process.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. So a little bit of time, really.
A little bit of time, and making sure that you don't break the law.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got to keep you on the up and up here.
Keep me on the up and up. Exactly. Right.
Nice.
Jiu-Jitsu helps with that. Keeps me out of trouble. Right?
Yeah.
It will.
Well, stay out of San Francisco like we were talking about, and might have to start robbing people's cars just because it doesn't throw you in jail.
Yeah. Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Boom.
Well, cool, man. Luke's cooked.
Yeah, dude. You guys are smoking me tonight. Let's get one water on the rocks, though, from our guest here, Arun.
All right.
Let's get him to feel that.
Yeah. This is why you wear a hat right here.
All right.
Get a nice juicy bucket. Yeah. I'll spread it all around. All around here. Watch the burn.
There we go. Oh, you're going to feel that. Breathe in slow.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Yep.
That is nice.
I got some fresh cauliflower here this morning, and it's roasting that right now.
Ooh,
is
yeah.
it? Nice.
Oh, yeah. Turn the whatever blood and pus is in my ear red hot.
Well, that's good.
That's good.
Ouch, Arun.
Why'd you do that to us, man? What the hell was that?
Jesus, man.
Hey, man, choose your hard, right? You got to choose your hard.
All right.
Got us.
Choose your hard. Well, you're going to choose a competition this year, so that's awesome.
Right now. Yeah, Dana's serving it back.
Yeah, I'm like, shit, since I said anything.
Tournament already, Arun. Sweet. Well, I'm freaking roasted, so I'll say my goodbyes. Thank you for coming on, Arun. Let's remind everybody to go support our buddies, training partners over at Optimize. If you need any cold plunges, saunas, etc., they're your spot.
Full health and wealth recovery.
That's right.
It's amazing.
Keep your body moving before it's too late. And then go see our buddy Nick down at Arcadia Meat Market for some fresh quality animal products.
Absolutely.
Arun, you got anything to plug, dude?
No, I just want to thank everyone at Grey
Nothing
Wolf.
About your beautiful wife, dude? Come on. just
my wife is fantastic. I love her. It's great.
There you go.
Things are good with me and her. So thumbs up on that.
Hell yeah. Good.
Go America.
Go America. Yeah, go America. And I guess I want to thank everyone at Grey Wolf. You guys have been super welcoming, and I'm grateful that I'm a part of this crew. And
ditto, man.
Yeah, we're grateful to have another good training partner.
Stoked to see your face every morning, man.
An amazing human. Absolutely. Thank you.
Right.
And the last thing, right now the hockey is happening right now, so let's go Canada.
Oh yeah, let's go watch America beat that ass. All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
Good.
Dana, love you, brother. Peace.
Thanks, boys.
I'm out. Cut it, Dana.